Hello, my name is Min from Simon Fraser University in Canada, presenting our research on remembering through sound, co-creating sound-based mementos with people with blindness. This work is done on the unceded territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Katzie, Coquitlam, Kaikait, Kwantlen, Samiamu, and Tsawwassen nations in Western Canada. Sound, as an integral part of human experience, has a unique capacity to trigger emotions, bringing people back in time and rekindling the essence of memorable moments, influencing how people perceive and interact with their surroundings. Memories recorded in sound are omnidirectional, as information comes from all directions and are more immersive than unidirectional visual memories, where the person must be behind the camera. Sound memories or sonic memories encompass the capacity of sound to trigger personal reminiscence and emotions. These cues can include spoken words and ambient sounds, music, and other acoustic elements that contribute to the richness of personal memories. Our research journey began in 2019 when we first met participants who are blind to learn about their experience of looking back and sharing meaningful moments in their lives with their significant others. We found that sound was one of the promising opportunities in our previous study. Building on our previous work on designing with people with blindness on their experience of reminiscence, our research team chose to explore deeper into the design space of creating sonic memories and remembering through sound. In this research, the core research questions are: how can we design together with people with blindness to support them in creating meaningful memories in sound in a way that they prefer to possess and enjoy? What are the important qualities that make audio recordings meaningful for people with blindness? How can we translate their personal audio recordings into alternative sound memories to promote personal and social reminiscence? Although there is a stream of research on sound memories, it has been largely explored with people with sight. Therefore, our research team has to come up with a new design approach to work with our participants. As a result, we came up with a three-phase co-creative design process where each phase becomes a vital touchpoint with the participants that shape the next steps. Over the course of 12 months, we worked closely with our participants in three phases, which eventually led to the final co-design workshop for designing sound memory. All sessions were audio recorded, and each session ended with a concluding discussion where immediate impressions were shared and the next steps were brainstormed. The first phase focused on developing a shared understanding of the main concept of this research, such as audio memory, sound memory, and audio portraits. After the initial screening, we invited participants to listen to the audio documentary, which was created as an alternative form of delivering the research outcome from our previous study to our participants. The audio documentary helped both continuing and new participants understand the context of reminiscence experience and sound memories. Next, we invited participants to host introductory group interviews to talk about sound. We discussed how participants perceive, cherish, and enjoy sounds in their everyday lives, exploring the desires and challenges of making and interacting with memories through sound. They all expressed a strong desire to cherish, capture, and revisit meaningful moments in sound. They named valuable moments in audio recordings sonic highlights, which often happen so fast that they are quickly forgotten. In the end, participants suggested a few ideas to capture sonic highlights on the scene. In Phase 2, we pursued more hands-on, interactive activities to collect sonic highlights. Inspired by go-along interviews involving shadowing and observation, we invited the participants to choose an event or experience. Then, the research team shadowed them to sonically capture conversations, specific sounds, and the soundscape. We acted as an imaginary device that could collect near-past, retrospective sound during an event when participants marked the highlights via an audio cue such as snapping their fingers or verbally saying it loud. Our participants chose various activities such as casual coffee chats, walking with a granddaughter, horseback riding, and even learning medieval sword fighting. We noted the timestamps marked by the participants and retrieved the sonic highlights after the events, which were later shared via email.
There. Do you recognize the cowgirl?
How you doing, babe?
This is super fun, and Scout is awesome.
Well, so is Harvey.
Oh.
Harvey. They got a friend.
So now just hold your sword out again and give me a couple whacks in the helmet. Right, my head's right there. You got it. Nice. There you go.
How many people tell you to whack their head?
Okay, there you
You
go.
don't say sorry. No.
Nice. Well done. Good job.
Because I hit his shoulder.
We checked in a month later to see how they did with the sonic highlights. Although they all enjoyed listening and sharing the sonic highlights initially, those highlights got easily lost. Instead, we observed that all participants had specific audio recordings they kept mentioning. Thus, we shifted our focus to design for those ones. Drawing insights from the phase 1 and 2, we developed a co-design workshop which included 3 activities focused on sound. The activities are inspired by storytelling, co-listening, and co-speculating. Initially, 7 people participated in the first 2 phases. Then, for the final co-design workshop, 4 of them attended. We encouraged them to bring their significant others, ended up with 6 participants in pairs of 2. We also asked the participants to bring their cherished audio recordings or objects that are sonically meaningful for them. Starting with an icebreaker to introduce the team and the participants, each pair presented the sound or object they brought, sharing the significance and stories associated with it. Some of the key questions we asked were, what does this sound and object mean for you? What is the theme of your memory? What are the sounds you remember the most in this scene? And are there any unexpected sounds captured in the recording? Next, each pair moved to separate rooms to dive deeper into their memories, stories, and emotions in the audio. From the previous phases, we learned that the sonic highlights often occurred around specific sonic cues. Guided by this understanding, we closely listened to the audio together to understand how memory is reconstructed in sound, and conversely, how sound reconstructs memory. We asked, what is the first and last sounds you remember from this memory? What is the highlight of this memory? What was in the background? And is there any sound you remember but not captured in the recording? Lastly, we invited participants to imagine how they wanted to shape their memories in the audio and how a new sonic memento might be used. We asked for meticulous details of their memory, such as physical space, emotional climate, time of day, and people who were there at the scene to reconstruct and enrich their memories in sound. The key questions we asked were, how do you want to make the sonic memory more meaningful? How do you want to share this memory with? How should the sonic memory start? And how should the sonic memory close? As a result, 3 sonic mementos are created. Ray and Michael's sparring highlight, Janet and Scott's boat trip, and Hannah and Walter's baby bell. I'll present baby bell for this presentation. Hannah and Walter brought a bell wrapped in cloth. The bell has a long trail of memories of their firstborn son, Chris. When Chris was born, because both Hannah and Walter are blind, they made a small baby bell wrapped and stitched in a soft cloth and attached it to Chris. Whenever Chris moved, the bell made its unique sound, so Hannah and Walter could locate him easily. Even when he was sleeping, subtle tossing and turning would tell them where the baby was sleeping. Hannah and Walter told us dinner time stories, Chris's favorite children's cartoons, and the songs he liked. Interestingly, the stories and narrations began to blur as they tried to pinpoint a specific memory. Instead, they created a brief sonic summary of a typical day with baby Chris. They imagined opening with the sounds that they heard in the morning, slowly moving on to the daytime sound, and later ending with the bath time song. For the sonic memento, Hannah wanted to record their voices singing the bath time song with Walter, which takes an essential part of their memory. Additionally, Walter wanted to record his own brief description of the sonic memento in case of sharing it with others.
These are sounds of memories of my son. Zoom, 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 gonna take a bath. Zoom, 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 gonna take a bath. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, splash.
From 3 sonic mementos and our 12 months design research journey, we gained insights into the practice of collective remembering through sound, and recommendations on making sound memories. For each section, I will highlight one finding. One of the key insights is framing the context in audio. Building a comprehensive frame for the memory, carefully shaped by sound, allows our participants to bring back memories and old feelings. Framing memories with sound involves deciding and integrating particular contextual qualities which can determine whether a recording is for personal reflection or social sharing. Our findings clarified how memories evoked by the initial sound in a recording shape the memory trace, such as how Hannah and Walter's baby bell begins with a quiet bell sound. Our participants also paid attention to how their memory should close at the end of the recording. Hannah and Walter asked to end their recording with a splash sound, as taking a bath had always been the last routine for a typical day with baby Chris. While voices carry intricate nuances and expressions for evoking memories and emotions, we further observed that voices can add a temporal dimension to sonic memory. When Janet played her audio recording of the boat trip during the co-listening session, she immediately noticed her voice was young. Similar to how people with sight reflect upon the passage of time while looking at photographs, our participants also experienced the flow of time by listening to their own voices in the past. Ray described it as a time loop experience. There is a complex set of memories in the recorded voices that resonate deeply, creating a strong connection with the past and the people who are part of the memory. In this vein, voice can offer a new perspective in exploring time. Our observations suggest that voice can produce creative temporal patterns for interactive systems in personal, social, and cultural contexts. Yet, we learned from our participants that voice recordings are relatively more abundant as opposed to other collections such as music and photo. One approach for this limitation is to design for longer-term engagement, interactions that last long, such as dialogues with significant others and family members. In our future work, building on the design concepts suggested by 3 sonic mementos, we'll remain committed to a longer-term collaborative approach to explore creative forms, materials, and interactions with the participants. Throughout the 12-month research project, we grappled with a fundamental question in co-design. Who takes the lead in the design process? However, this question helped us better position our work not only in supporting the blind community, but also in coming up with ideas that respect both the sighted and the blind society. We hope this study inspires future research into how technology can be more inclusive of people with different abilities and generate valuable resources for designing reminiscence experiences of cherished memories for all of us. Thank you.